I know this is just going to absolutely shock all of y'all, but estate planning attorneys are not created equally. Attorneys are not created equally. People are not created equally. And you need to be really careful when you're hiring professionals to take care of all of these really crucial matters. Think about it like this. You wouldn't hire a financial advisor that you didn't like or think's not going to manage your money well. Same thing should go with an estate planning attorney. You don't want to hire an estate planning attorney that's you don't trust to actually protect your assets after you're gone. It's way more than just the documents. If you do a living trust, your living trust has to be funded. And what that means is that if you think of the living trust like a bucket, we need to move some of your assets into this bucket and ensure that it's going to work properly. And a lot of attorneys don't do this. Throughout my career, I've had a lot of attorneys be like, oh, you do living trusts? I don't do living trusts. And I'm like, why? And they're like, because no one ever funds their trusts. And I'm like, that sounds like a you problem and not a them problem. It is our job to ensure that if a client is paying us for a living trust, as much to our ability that we can, obviously we can't go to their house and sit over their shoulder and make them, but we want to ensure that they are actually moving whatever assets they need to, like bank account and brokerage accounts, into this living trust. That is our job. That is part of drafting the documents. So if you go to an attorney and they tell you that they're going to charge you like $1,500 for a living trust, red flag, big red flag. Yeah, they might draft you some documents, but you're never going to hear from them again. They are not going to help you fund your trust. And most likely that trust is completely worthless and you just paid $1,500 for no reason. So at my firm, living trusts are typically going to cost a plan. So along with all of your incapacity documents and us transferring the deed and all that are typically going to cost like $4,500 to $5,500. And so a lot of the times my clients are like, why are you so much more expensive than other law firms? Or why don't I just go online and do this myself? It's, sir, you can. Good luck with that. But if your goal is to actually make sure that your family is going to be protected and that these documents are actually going to work and do their job, you want to work with an attorney that is going to support you through this, making sure that everything is funded into the trust, but then also that will be there for your family on the back end. I tell all my clients this, my binders they're like this thick. They're not cheap binders. They're not small binders. And one of my trust-based plans, it might be 80 to 90 pages. So imagine your kid picking up this trust and starting to read this 80 to 90 page legal document. It is a great substitute for Ambien. It will knock you out in a heartbeat. What they probably won't be able to do is to figure out what on earth they're supposed to do now. So if they don't have this relationship with an attorney, they're going to probably have to go hire an attorney. So you've already paid for the documents. Now your kids are going to have to go pay again to have an attorney explain to them how to do these documents. And most often they're going to go through and they're going to be like, wow, this is the worst trust I've ever seen. That's normally what I do when I review other attorneys' trust documents. I'm like, wow, this is literally the worst trust I've ever seen. It's 10 pages and it includes nothing that it should. So you want to make sure that when you go meet with an attorney, you find someone that specializes in estate planning and that is going to create that lifetime relationship so that they are there to explain it and support your family on the back end and give them a checklist and tell them what to do. My clients probably never going to have to read the trust document. I give them a checklist. I tell them what to do. I hold their hand through it. They're usually pretty good to go at that point. So you definitely want to find someone that specializes in it. And then Shakespeare said it, let's kill all the lawyers. Let's kill them tonight. There are a lot of attorneys out there that are also just very greedy. They're just people in general, but I think attorneys definitely have a bad rap for this. I have had attorneys tell me to my face that they only do will-based plans because probate is their retirement plan. So they want to be able to probate your estate on the back end because they are going to make more money in probate than they're going to make doing a living trust and helping your family avoid probate. This is what happened to my grandmother's estate. My grandmother went to an estate planning attorney. If they had done a living trust, my dad would have avoided 4 years of probate court. Instead, he paid over $200,000 in probate attorney's fees. Sounds like it might be a conflict of interest. That's because it is. And yeah, don't go to those attorneys. If they tell you you don't need a living trust, but you own property or you own businesses, go get a second opinion. Go get it now, because most likely they are counting on being able to probate your estate on the back end. So those are some things that you want to look for. If they do wills on the side, if they do real estate, wills on the side. If they do PI, wills on the side, that's not who you want to go to. This is an area in of itself. You don't go to an internist for heart surgery. You go to a cardiologist. Same thing goes with law. You want to go to someone that actually specializes in this. If they're a door attorney, it's kind of my own little phrase, meaning that they accept anybody that walks in the door because they just want money in their pocket, that means that they are a general practitioner and they specialize in nothing. So they don't know what they don't know either. And they probably don't have the right software for drafting trusts. They don't know really exactly what the implications are of a will versus a trust. Honestly, they're probably not much better than a layperson. So look for those people that actually, those firms that specialize in estate planning and creating lifetime relationships. That's what we do at Arch Legacy. It's why we might cost a little bit more upfront, but trust me when I say we are going to save your family so much money on the back end and make it as easy as possible. And most of the time, that's what my clients are looking for.